This episode,
we review director Jon Favreau's film Mandalorian and Grogu.
We discuss the commercial and critical success of low-budget horror films, obsession in backrooms.
And we rave about recent Marvel streaming TV shows, Spider-Noir and Daredevil Born Again Season 2, while questioning the quality of the final season of Amazon's The Boys. With new episodes airing every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, this is Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. I'm Simon Eady.
And I'm Adrian Pinter. Welcome to episode 137.
Adrian, have you ever been to... This is a familiar beginning of an episode. Have you ever been to Canada?
Canada?
Yeah, Canada.
In British Columbia?
Oh, you got it. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it, I thought I could fool you.
Isn't that how it's pronounced? Canada?
Canada, yeah. It's not in British Columbia, though. It's near Ottawa, but yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I feel
Unless
like I
there's
knew
two
that,
Canadas. I don't think there is.
Canada.
I thought you would get confused and think I was talking about Canada, because I was talking to my wife about it recently. Anyway, I got a business trip coming up to go to Canada now.
When are you going?
And so I thought I would just throw you that. I'm going to Canada, haha. You know. And you're like, yeah, I've been to Canada. I'm there right now. And I'd be like, no, it's the city outside of Ottawa, Adrian.
All right, let's redo that.
And you'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. But you
Let's take a step back. I'm in Canada right now, dude.
Right? No need. But anyway, yeah, I'm going there for a business trip. I'm curious. I keep getting all these, like, I've never been to these other places in Canada. Like I've been to Ottawa. I've been to British Columbia, like Whistler and Vancouver area. But I haven't really been, like, I hadn't been to New Brunswick, and I just did a business trip. That's what I was saying is familiar.
Yeah.
To be talking about this, to start an episode like this again. Like, have you ever been to Newbie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, I thought I would catch you with the Canada. I'm going to Nepean and Canada.
Nice. Kelowna is what I was thinking of, by the way.
Kelowna. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Kelowna.
Have you been to Kelowna?
No.
Is that why you thought of it? Oh, okay.
No, I just know that's another place with a K in its name. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. These business trips, man. I've never been on so many business trips.
It's crazy. When are you going? When are you doing your business trip?
I don't know. It's up in the air. It'll be probably within a month, but it's unknown. It's a strange one. It's another weird one. Okay. This one's close, though. So New Brunswick I had to fly to, but this one I have to drive. So
oof.
So a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a podcast. At least one podcast will be listened to the whole way.
A podcast and a bit, probably you could fit in a bit.
Yep, and a bit. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I am going to Montreal actually this week. Driving up on Thursday
for work.
No, just for fun. It's a friend's 30th birthday.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he wants to be with friends in Montreal. So we're gonna go on, drive up there Thursday morning, get there probably Thursday afternoon.
Okay, and
then come home on Sunday.
Nice.
If all goes well. But I am going on a work trip in 2 weeks to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the week of
again.
What days are those?
That's this time of, I guess that's the
19th.
Time of year again, right? Because this is probably a year ago that we talked about this last time, or no?
No,
or is this another trip within 6 months?
This is I went September of last year to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 months.
So this is again, same thing, just team bonding, meeting up and doing things. So
that's where the head office is for your business?
Yeah.
Tulsa? Okay. Yeah, it's strange. I don't think I'd heard of Tulsa, and looked at the history of it until Watchmen.
Exactly.
I don't know if we talked about that before.
We did.
Okay, yeah. It's crazy that's it's famous for such a dire situation in a strange way.
Makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone I work with is super racist. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
I mean, that's years later.
Yeah.
You would hope that they learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Cool. All right, man. Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
There's a lot to talk about. We watched quite a few movies. Or I guess not really. We watched quite a few things. We watched one specific movie in theaters, and we tried to watch another movie. We couldn't see it because, again, strange ticketing issues. Although I feel like the Guelph City of Guelph might have, like the City of Guelph Cineplex theaters may have made a mistake by not having back rooms in theaters. But we'll talk about back rooms in a second.
It is in theaters in Guelph now.
I know now,
Yeah,
but why did they not have it planned to be in theaters? And they're like, oh, this is popular. I guess we should put it in theaters.
It's incredibly popular. It's crazy. I feel like they didn't realize that it was going to be this popular.
Yeah, that's why I wonder. Or maybe they always had a plan to put it in theaters for this coming week, and they just Anyway,
silly stuff.
Silly indeed. But we did watch one thing together, and we watched things apart. I'll throw it to you. You can talk about the things you've watched on your own. Or with your wife or somebody else, and then I'll jump into mine, and then we can jump into the thing we watched together, which is the big blockbuster, first summer blockbuster of the year.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster, but it ain't doing blockbuster numbers, unfortunately.
It is.
Yeah, not that crazy. We'll talk about it, of course. But anyways, I did watch a few things, man. So did a lot of catch up. But I really I'll talk about a couple things. So I finished The Boys season 5. The final season is now done. And I've been pretty negative on The Boys throughout this entire season. I think I was negative pretty like in season 4 and even in season 3. I think I remember you and I liking it, but talking about a plethora of like kind of plot holes and issues with the show. And I think I've stayed fairly consistent on this show since like season 4 specifically about how I just don't really like it anymore. It's just too over the top. I think there's tonal imbalances and kind of shoddy writing. And I felt the same way throughout this entire 5th season. Whereas I feel like a lot of people online were talking very positively about this season leading up to the finale. Okay. And then the finale comes out. I feel like everyone kind of turned on it. Right. Everyone's like, this was a bad finale. At least that's what I was seeing.
What?
I have a few friends.
I heard the exact opposite of what you're describing.
For the finale?
So I heard people didn't like the show up until the end. And then the finale was the star of the show. They redeemed themselves by the end. I've heard that across the board. Multiple articles. I think I talked to people who had said that too. So that's the opposite of what I'm hearing. They hear that it didn't do so. It wasn't maybe as good, but then it ended strong.
Interesting. That was what I heard. Yeah, at least the people that in my life that I talked to about the show, they had the opposite, where they liked the season so far, and then like felt it getting kind of weaker, and then the finale was kind of bleh. And for me specifically, I feel like the show is pretty bleh. Again, since season 4, I haven't really liked this entire season. I think there are, again, a lot of issues with it. And I did not like the finale at all, really. There's a couple, I think there's a couple of satisfying conclusions as a whole. But I think this finale specifically, and I'm very curious when you watch this, has some crazy plot holes in it. Crazy. Where I was, and it sucks. I can't really talk about it, but I don't know. Maybe you can explain it some way, but they don't explain it in the show. But there were some like straight up where it ended, and I'm like, this makes no sense. Like there is a lot of issues with the way it all plays out. Again, it's tough to talk about it.
You want to spoil it,
because I don't want to spoil it. But I just think this show really kind of falls flat on its face. I genuinely only believe like seasons 1 and 2 are great, and then again, season 3 I thought was like it's good, but I had my issues with it. And then since season 4, I think this show is like, I don't want to say bad. It's entertaining to a certain degree, but it's just. It didn't maintain that high level of quality that the first 2 seasons had. And I just feel like this kind of fell flat on its face. And it's a shame because I do like Eric Kripke. He did Supernatural. I'm a big Supernatural guy. I loved those first 5 seasons of Supernatural. And again, he had his 5-season arc planned and nailed it. And I thought those 5 seasons were awesome. Whereas I just don't think he did it this time. I think he kind of went too far with it. I feel like the show honestly should have ended in season 3 personally. Considering, where the finale of season 3 could have gone compared to how the finale of this episode was. I just think there's a lot of issues. I think the writing it just became too much of a parody of something that is already a parody. So they're trying to make fun of the political situation that's going on, and it's already a joke anyways. So it's like, how do you how do you do a parody of something so absurd anyways? And I just don't think it nails it. And again, I just think the tone is so inconsistent. And what I found with this season in particular, I don't really remember season 4 all that well, but this season specifically, I feel like apart from only a select few of characters, every single character talks the same. It's, hey, here's a very vulgar sexual metaphor about the situation we're in to explain every situation. And it felt so overdone. And that every single character, and I mean every single one, was always making some sort of sexual innuendo where I'm like, this is so juvenile and not funny. Again, I don't want to be the funny police here, but like for me specifically, like this is so juvenile and not funny that it's taken me out of it. So whenever these emotional beats actually happened, I could not care less by that point, because again, most of the time they were undercut by some fucking shit dialogue that like left me just kind of annoyed more than anything. Yeah, it's a shame, dude, because again, I think those first 2 seasons of The Boys are really, really good. And again, I like the cast. I think Carl Urban is awesome in the show. Jack Quaid. I think honestly, everyone on the cast is really great. I don't think there's a weak link, but you can only act so good given the dialogue and the writing you have in front of you. So I don't know. It kind of sucks. The one kind of nice part about this season, and it's not really a spoil because they literally talked about it leading into this season. There is like a supernatural reunion, essentially, like where the main cast of Supernatural are together in a scene, obviously playing different characters. And that was cool to see. But I think that episode as a whole was poorly paced, and because it was these like little silhouette episodes and they were going at breakneck speed. So I couldn't even really enjoy it fully, which was a shame. They also, I'm so curious, they have some of the craziest cameos throughout the season, like crazy level of cameos. And it just kind of confuses me. One, like as an actor, why you're like, you know what, I will cameo in this show. Why the hell not? Despite it being far from greatness at this point. Like who are all these connections? How do you know all these people? It doesn't matter. That's besides the point. But it just seems like wasted cameos a lot of the time. And they don't really go anywhere. And it just feels like almost like wasted money when you should have spent it on just, I don't know, I guess better special effects or bigger set pieces. And
the
making
special
the
effects
writing
were lacking?
Not necessarily lacking, but I feel like there wasn't, how can I word this? There's a lot of promise of what was supposed to be coming that was left unfulfilled, and they keep things fairly tight. And as a result, I feel like it almost seems like there was a lack of budget in a lot of ways. It doesn't look bad. I just think what was promised was supposed to be more than what we got. Okay. And kind of a bummer. It's fine. It's over. I'm out of this universe. Again, I watched the first episode of Gen V and I was like, I'm not going to bother with this. And then when this final season came out, I'm like, I'm excited to finish this, but like, I'm done in this universe. I don't want to go back. I'm not going to watch the Vought Rising spin-off show, which is like the prequel. I don't give a shit. As much as I like Jensen Ackles and I think it's a cool idea, I just don't care about this universe enough to do that.
Yeah. And
it did feel in a lot of ways that this show, this final season, they were trying to backdoor pilot that spinoff in a lot of ways, which is weird considering it is a prequel. But I'm confident that Vought Rising show is going to start as a prequel and very quickly become a sequel. I'm quite confident in that. Okay. Based on only just like, I guess it's purely just speculation, but I think they left enough threads open in the end of The Boys to be able to be like, well, we can continue it with this character or this character and kind of have this go on in modern day. So yeah, as a whole, I think it is not great. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's not good. Like it's very just meh, and I did not like it. And it's like, I feel like there was so much like vitriol and hatred towards like, you know, Stranger Things ending and stuff like that. or even Game of Thrones' ending. And I think, there is issues with the pacing in those final seasons of Game of Thrones. And again, there is some, I guess, issues with the pacing even in the last episode of Stranger Things as an example. But I think as a story, it still made sense and it still worked. This, I feel like there's issues with the pacing, there's issues with the story, there's plot holes galore, and I just was left wholly disappointed.
I think my issue with Game of Thrones' ending, though, is that there's an element at the end where it's like everyone's, like the whole show is kind of about greed, and then at the end they kind of just like let that go. I think that's I've been thinking about the ending of Game of Thrones, the very ending, the very finale. There's an element
of
last
episode, the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
10 minutes. I'm like, are you sure? No, are you sure? That was kind of what I was thinking, because I don't think that, I'm not certain that people would have. I know that some of the characters are gone and whatever. It's just, it seemed like it was wrapped up in a little tidy bow, and I don't think that that's how it would have gone. That's kind of my thought process with that. Obviously, we don't have the ending of the books, and may never get them, so we'll never know what George Railroad Martin intends for the ending. But I do think like that was the problem. Like, I do dislike the pacing too. Obviously, the traveling between places in Game of Thrones is very problematic in the speed that they do it. But anyway, interesting thing about Vault Rising, I was just looking this up. I was curious, like who is show running it? It's not Eric Kripke. So I'm curious to see what that will mean, because it's being showrun by a man named Paul Grelong, who I'm looking up right now. Because I'm just curious, like you can, if you don't have the same showrunner, it can be a fundamentally different series too, Yeah. I'm curious to see what it will be, but we'll see how that goes. The other thing is interesting. So I looked up like, well, what do people think about the finale? And it seems like it's divided. Like it's both ways. That's why you thought one thing, I thought the other, because it is a division. Like people like they found it satisfying, and then people found it deeply unsatisfying on the flip side. The weird thing as well is season 5 on Rotten Tomatoes, out of 109 reviews, it's 93% for critics scores.
I know, which is crazy.
But Popcorn Meter is not that at all. It's 49%. So it is an interesting flip. Like there's this clear division in what people think about this last season, and I'm very curious what I'm going to think. But there's just too much stuff out right now, and that I've been watching and like paying attention to, from video games to movies to TV shows, that I just hadn't had the chance to jump in. And I will. But it's also something that my wife and I don't watch together, and that makes it a little bit tougher. But you watched this alone, right? This is something you watch on your own. Yeah. So you found the time.
I did
your
indeed
ADHD
find
let
the
you
time.
do it.
My what?
Your ADHD. It let you do it.
It did let me do it. It did let me do it.
You said, and what? I thought I said like your penis or something.
Oh, no.
You're the smile on your face. You're like, what did you say to me? Excuse me? What kind of vulgar nonsense? No, yeah, you said your ADHD doesn't let you watch things on your own as much. It's easier if you have something in your hands like a controller to play a video game. So I'm just calling it back to what you said before. But anything else you watched this by week, sir?
Yeah, I guess just real quick with the boys. I'm so curious. Like obviously you're going to probably bring it up on the show, but I'm so curious what you think, because I know one of your biggest issues with a lot of things is like when there's a gaping plot hole. And
plot is king.
And I think maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think there are some substantial plot holes in this show that I cannot look past, where it actually kind of drove me insane, because they just sweep it under the rug, and it's absurd. So, but I did watch a couple other things as well, Simon, and that is on Disney Plus. I finished Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Okay, I'm halfway through.
And god damn, is this show so good, man.
It is really good.
It is so phenomenal. And interestingly enough, there's a lot of parallels between Daredevil and The Boys, in regards to like the political point of, there's a guy in Daredevil, it's, Kingpin ruling New York City, and, essentially using his power for corruption and kind of, screwing up the city in a lot of ways and doing a lot of evil. Whereas The Boys is about, I guess, Homelander and the entirety of United States. But the more focused, I guess, plot of Daredevil is it just does it so much better. again,
they're very different though. They're very different in tone.
Yeah, but you're doing similar themes in the sense of, again, like a corrupt leader running, in this case, city versus a country. And it's just, Daredevil just does it so much better. And it's this R-rated tone that does not let up. There are these moments of levity, but again, like this is like a straight up like HBO style, like rated R hardcore show. It reminds me a lot of kind of like the Penguin in a lot of ways. Not exactly, but just kind of tonally, where it's just, again, it's dark. They're willing to kill off characters or at least severely injure them. They are willing to show blood. They're willing to, drop F-bombs galore. And it's like this like level of maturity that I just truly love in this universe. And I think Daredevil Born Again season 2 just nails it, just in every aspect. Every character is interesting. Every scene, has me at the edge of my seat. There's not a moment that is wasted, which I really love. And the constant kind of balance of, morality between, Daredevil, obviously, but like Karen Page is kind of a main focal point in this season, and, Bullseye's in this now, and he's kind of like doing his thing. And it's just so cool. I really want to hammer that home. It's cool, man. And I just adored this season. I think it's a shame, you saying that the viewer count wasn't particularly high, because I think
in comparison to the first season, I think the first season was a big drop off to the second season. And I think to that point, I also think this show improved fundamentally from the first season, which is really interesting. But I feel like that's the problem with having a first season that's not quite as good as the Netflix show, as an example. So you go from the Netflix series, which is now on Disney Plus as well. You can just watch the whole thing there, and it's a continuation. Born Again is a continuation of that, if you don't know that, audience. But yeah, that's I feel like it's a disappointment because it is so much better. It's crazy. I'm halfway through and I'm like, man, I don't remember it being this good. Like the way it's very tight. It's tightly written. Like the moments with Kingpin. There's one episode, I think it's episode 4. It's like the midway point. It's very, very. Vincent D'Onofrio is just killing it in his performance.
Amazing.
There's some really, really, really cool moments. I love it. I think it's really good. You're right. Yeah, there's like no wasted time. I think that's what you just said, right? Something along those lines. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm only halfway through though. We're taking our time with it because we're watching like a few shows at once. Yeah, and so we're just jumping back and forth. But it's nice because I can savor it, because this show is really killing it. And I really hope that people go back to it, seeing how well it's rated and seeing how, with word of mouth, how good it is. They'll go and watch season 2 if they had seen season 1, because it is definitely worth it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember having some issues with season 1 as well. Like specifically, I remember like Heather's character, where I felt like she was kind of like shoehorned in, and just I feel like
she's so annoying.
Yeah, she just wasn't done well, and like I didn't have enough time to talked about that. Like her character at all, and it just felt like her relationship was just it just wasn't good. And like in this season, I think she is very unlikable, but she's now become an interesting character that like I'm so curious, what's going on with her and everything. And she's dealing with like the trauma from season 1, and it's really cool. So like, having a character like her that I honestly just did not like at all, from even just like a writing standpoint from the first season, to being a genuinely well-written and intriguing character in this season is awesome. And I do want to like give a big shout out. I think Michael Gandolfini, who plays Daniel, amazing dude. I never watched The Sopranos. I know his dad was, Tony Soprano, right? Yeah. Like I never watched The Sopranos. So like my my association with the Gandolfinis is now this guy in Daredevil. I just think he's awesome, dude. I love his character. I love like his acting, just like it's everything about it. Again, I just think this show is genuinely remarkable, and I loved it, and I'm very excited for what's to come with season 3. Matthew Lillard, also his inclusion in this is great.
He's very interesting,
just awesome. And again, like the political nature of the show is cool, but like I love how, again, it's like Kingpin at the top of the world, quote unquote. You're running New York City, but like there are people above him that are also trying to pull strings or, change things. And it's like, how is he going to react to those situations when in reality, he doesn't actually have all the power? And it's really cool.
It's cool, like the political nature of how he talks to the governor and stuff. There's because he doesn't. It is a really good call out too. That's something very interesting, and they could have just avoided it, but it would have become less realistic. So the fact that they're willing to go there in the writing is really, really cool too. Yeah, that's a great call out. Yeah, it's really cool. It's crazy good. It's surprising. They've topped what they did last season because it's Dario Scartapane who did the Punisher show, which was okay regarded. It was regarded as a pretty solid series, but the Netflix's crowning jewel for the Marvel like street level heroes run was Daredevil, and he didn't do that show, and so he kind of just made this his own, and he must have assembled a solid writers room as well because it's just so solid. They almost like they learned from the mistakes of the first season too. Yeah, it's really cool. They're filming the third season right now. They're in production, I believe. So Wonderful. It's very exciting. I'm glad they're still making it despite the drop off. But I think the drop off is bad, but it still has okay viewership for what they need to make it work. Because the first season got like a lot of viewers. Like it was garnered a lot. But anyway.
Yeah,
cool, man.
So really awesome. And then once I finished that up, I decided to jump into the Punisher special. It's short. Nice. It's about 50 minutes long, 40 some odd minutes long.
It's written by John Bernthal.
It is, yeah. And it's cool. I think it does, since it's so short and sweet, it does kind of have a little bit of a pacing issue. Like I almost feel like this would have been a great like movie. And
like a longer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a longer 2 hours. Yeah, something like that. And because I think he could have done a lot more. And it does like end at kind of an interesting spot. It does kind of just end at a certain point, and I'm curious how that ties into his appearance in Spider-Man. But the one thing I will say, this is like, again, also like R-rated, brutal, man. Like the action is awesome in this, 50-minute special, and I guess that's kind of like the issue with it is that it is literally just, I mean, it's 50 minutes long, 42 of those minutes are spent on action, just like go.
Because when I watched the trailer, I'm like, I feel like it's the opposite. I thought you were going to say 42 minutes was talking, because that was what the trailer shows. I feel like there's almost no action in it. Maybe I'm mistaken, like forgetting what the trailer was like, but I was like, when I learned it was 50 minutes, I'm like, how are they going to wrap up any story in 50 minutes? Like some of the Daredevil episodes, like Born Again, are longer.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why is it so short? It's so strange. I don't really get that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it just kind of goes, which is
cool. Where does it take place in terms of timeline? That is something I was
Daredevil season 2 or during, I think.
Is it during?
It's either during or after.
Okay, well, that's what I was looking for. The answer for one of those.
Yeah, like
I figured it was during or after.
Because it's interesting, because there are some references to Daredevil in it, but again, it's not clear. I'm going to assume it's after, just because I feel like they would have probably brought up what happened in that show in Daredevil.
Did you watch the Punisher TV show on Netflix?
I only watched the first season.
Me too. So do you find you're missing some stuff from the second season?
Okay. Maybe, but I don't know for sure because I never watched it. So
I like the first season quite a bit.
I liked it a lot too.
Evan Moss Backrack is in that, so it's his second. Yeah. Considering he was like the Punisher was pulled over John Bernthal's Punisher, that makes Evan Moss Backrack's character. He has two different characters.
Yeah,
in the MCU,
technically,
so, with Grimm. Is it John Grimm? No, Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm, right? But technically, Ben Grimm is from a different universe.
Right. So. Yeah, he can look like that, but it's like would there be relation?
Well, he doesn't look like he's a rock man now, so yeah. But I guess
he does look like that.
Yeah,
he did look like that. Yeah, he wasn't always a rock man.
Yeah,
and come out of the womb as a rock man.
Yeah. But it is enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I just cool. I kind of wanted more, and if we had this in lieu of him being in like Daredevil Born Again season 2, it's kind of a disappointment. I wish he was kind of more in it. Because again, they do talk about the Punisher a lot in season 2. Not a lot, but they talk about him quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's good shit, though.
Cool.
It's good shit.
Sweet. Anything else?
Yeah. No, that's really it. I have watched a few other things, but again, I don't want to take up too much time there.
Okay. I obviously just said I just watched Daredevil. I've been still watching For All Mankind season. We just finished season 1. What a good show. It's funny. Again, I always think about season 1. I think it skewed my brain knowing the review scores because season 1 is For All Mankind is a alternate history space show. It's on Apple TV. It's specifically the first season has a worse score on Rotten Tomatoes for critics than the next few seasons. Mm-hmm. And there is an element of this, like, I think critics don't know what to expect with a show that's got a new concept in mind, because I don't understand why so many people didn't like it. Because I don't think the first season is bad at all. It's so shocking every time you look at the score. I think it's like a 60 something. Like, there's no way percent. It's not, there's no way. It's a great season, especially as it ramps up past the halfway mark and onward. But even in the beginning, it's such a cool concept. I don't know what people wanted. I don't really get it. And I think they're like, oh, now we're used to this. Season 2 is 90. It's like, I don't know what you're doing. Because again, Rotten Tomatoes is binary, 1 or 0. You didn't like it. 40% of people didn't like it. I don't know. That just seems stupid to me.
So season 1's 75%. Season 2 is 100.
Oh, it might have gone up over time because I remember it being a 60 distinctly when I started watching it way back in the day. Okay, good. 75 is not so bad. I don't agree. But yeah, we're going to get into season 2 shortly. Star City just dropped on Apple TV, so we're going to wait for that to finish, like get through the week-to-week episodes, and then we'll jump into that as well. That's the Russians' perspective of this space race. But okay, so I've watched that. I've watched Daredevil. I also finished, before jumping into Daredevil, Shrinking season 3, and it is really, really great. The finale in particular is incredibly well done. It's very emotional. I thought it was awesome. I wonder why they're going to come back for another season, only because it is kind of a great way to end this. It's hard to kind of end a comedy like this, like satisfyingly, and I feel like this was satisfying. Now, I know they are going to do a time jump for the next season. I just find, I don't know. I feel like it was.
Have they announced that they're doing a time jump?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, briefly.
Oh, okay.
I think so. But anyway, yeah, it was really, really great. I can't, the chemistry between all the cast, the writing on this series is awesome. I think you said it was awesome too, right? When we talked about it back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. A little while ago, you finished it. But no, it's so good. It's so crazy. Bill Lawrence is on a serious winning streak at this point. With Rooster, Ted Lasso, this show, and the Scrubs reboot. So it's cool. What are you looking at? You okay?
I'm looking up the time jump stuff because I don't know why I didn't remember that.
I have a news story in here too for the montage that kind of mentions it in passing, but it's okay. I mean, cool. It's just in passing. But yeah, it's so good. I don't know what else there is to say. I don't want to spoil anything. It is really, really great. I just
the next it like the show masters like making you laugh and then making you tear up, and it's like every episode I feel like I was like just kind of welling up a little bit. And it's just so consistently great, like a show that makes you feel nice. Like it makes you feel nice.
The Ted Lasso
on the
effect.
Inside, exactly.
Like I don't know. There's not enough shows like that. I don't know what it is. It is really cool.
Yeah, it's true, and I just feel like Bill Lawrence really just knows how to do it. Like he's like, I'm gonna make you feel good. I'm gonna still tell you a good plot. You're
still gonna cry.
Good story. You're gonna tear up a bit, but you're gonna feel really good. Yeah. Sometimes they're sad tears. Sometimes
they are. There's like a middle like plot arc in the middle of the.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Heart wrenching, truly.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. But yeah, it's good. It's so good. But what else? Oh, Colbert's final show. So the Late Show with Stephen Colbert is done. I watched that. Pretty cool, creative way to end the show. Actually, I thought it was pretty neat the way they did it. And actually, at the end of that, the very last shot, I was like, it was creative enough that it was creative in an emotional way, and I teared up a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's strange when somebody's gone after 11 years of doing like they're like a staple kind of in my life. Like I always watched it on YouTube, kind of with the other late show guys, late night talk show guys as well, and it's Colbert and Kimmel that I watched the most. So now I've just got Kimmel. So I got more time to watch other TV shows on other streaming services, I guess. Yeah. More Digital Foundry, perhaps, on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, it's just disappointing in that regard. And it's strange to see the literally the top rated for viewership late night show get canceled. It's a little it's a little odd. And then this particular late night show as well had the last episode, the finale had millions of views, like over. I think they even topped their first episode, like in terms of like, which is interesting. But that would be the way it would go. Of course.
I'm not much of a late night guy, so like I don't really know too much about it. But like, what's the likelihood that someone's just gonna be like, "Hey, Colbert, do this almost the exact same show over on this network instead"? Like, does that?
I don't think there's a network that would do it. I think a streaming service would maybe do it. I think it makes more sense maybe to do like a weekly show instead, like the Last Week Tonight. I don't know. The budget for his show was high. I'm sure the band cost a pretty penny as well. Like that band was solid. So I think that maybe it was expensive. I think though their claim was that they were losing $40 million a year or some nonsense, whatever they said. They lost $40 million a year. That seems so stupid and wrong because of the fact that, again, you just have, especially because it's Paramount, because you have a lot of guests that are from the movies, from Paramount on your show, promoting the things you're making. I think that overall you're a net positive when you bring, like, it's kind of like a rising tide type situation. Mm-hmm. So I also think that even if they were losing money, I feel like they weren't really losing money because there's always creative accounting. We've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about this in a second with Mandalorian and Grogu when we talk about how we just watched that, because I think there's creative accounting with that too that I feel like people don't want to acknowledge. They like the simple answer, the simple math, so you don't have to look at all the other angles. But I think that show was not losing $40 million a year. I just think that's a lie. When you look at YouTube viewership as well, the ad revenue from that, millions, by the way, millions for every monologue, he would have millions of views. I don't think that's just like nothing. And I don't think they calculate that in the overall math because it's convenient to say that you're losing $40 million a year so that you can shut the show down. That's what I think, but I don't know. I'm not in their accountant's room. I don't got the abacus going. I don't know. I don't know what the math is because I don't work there. But it is kind of sad. And lastly, before we get on to The Mandalorian and Grogu, I watched one episode of this show, and I'm glad I did, and I will continue watching it on my own. My wife will not watch it, maybe because of the black and white, and that is Spider Noir, which is truly excellent. The first episode was really great, and I do appreciate the black and white quite a bit because it is shot and lit with black and white in mind, and you can tell. But I believe, I should have checked this up before. I meant to do that. I'm pretty sure they shot it both ways, though. They shot it with like different lighting for color, I'm fairly certain. And then they shot it with black and white lighting so they could kind of nail the noir 1950s kind of tone. 1940s. What would it be? 1940s?
I don't know.
Gumshoe? Spider Noir, year it takes place. But it is really good. Nicolas Cage is really great in it. There is some cool action in it too. It's just the way that it's shot, though. It's 1930s. I'm way back. I should have known that. Because it's right after it's like takes place during the Great Depression. So I don't know why I thought it would be 40s. That's dumb. But it's cool. It's like a detective mystery with Nicolas Cage as the detective, and he's also Spider-Man somehow. So it's really cool, and it's over a 90% of Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences love it. Critics love it. What's not to love? I also wanted to just jump into this right away. It's all, first of all, on Amazon Prime right away. There's no week to week, which is convenient. But they put it all on Amazon, and I wanted to jump into it right away because I wanted to show my love for the fact that they made this show. I feel like it may have crossed my mind to be an impossibility. 2 years ago, if you asked me like, oh, yeah, Sony's thinking about making Spider Noir. I'm like, nah, they're not. Because it seems like it's expensive for no reason. You're making an artsy superhero show. Like, how much of an audience are you going to pull in for that? There's the number crunchers are going to just not do it. And they did it. And so I really appreciate that. And I wanted to show my love for it. And I really do like it. The first episode was really good.
Nice.
So I'll just watch it on my own.
I'll definitely watch this as well. I just got to get around to it at some point.
Yeah. But 1933 is when this takes place, according to this. At the heart of the Great Depression. Adrian. Anyway.
Sounds depressing.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, and Nicolas Cage's performance, like with the Humphrey Bogart / he's a man trapped in a spider's body. No, a spider trapped in a man's body or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I just love that description because I can kind of see it already in the first episode. He's just he's nailing it. And I think this is the first show from Nicolas Cage that he's made. Like, he's not made any TV series. I think he's always been a movie star. Mm-hmm. Isn't that true?
I have no idea.
His first breakout into TV series. But yeah. I'll look that up in a second just to make sure that's wrong. That's correct, so I'm not wrong. But otherwise, we can move on to The Mandalorian and Grogu. We saw that in theaters at our local Cineplex at the Ultra AVX movie theater. Adrian, what did you think?
Mandalorian and Grogu, little baby Yoda man. What did I think of this movie? So I thought this movie was enjoyable. It is a good piece of entertainment. I think it's fun. I had a good time watching this movie. I did have a good time watching this movie. But if I was looking at this movie from like a purely critical eye, I'm like, if I do think it kind of fails as a movie.
Oh,
I think maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh, but I don't believe this is a movie in the sense of like, I think this is 4 episodes of the Mandalorian series, maybe 5, that they kind of stitched together and made into a movie. And I think the pacing has a lot of like stops and starts throughout it. Like, you can almost tell where an episode would break if this was on, Disney Plus, and you were binge watching it. And that doesn't make it a bad thing, because again, I still found a lot of enjoyment out of it and a lot of entertainment out of it. I just think, again, like, going into this, you can pretty much expect what you're going to get. And if you are in the mood for that and want that, you will like it. But if you're expecting anything more, if you're expecting character development, if you're expecting moving the universe forward in any way, you're not going to get any of that with this movie, genuinely. And I think there are a couple moments in this movie as well where, again, that kind of point towards that like TV show watching aspect, but where like lines of dialogue are repeated and monologues are repeated, like multiple times in the movie, like 20 minutes later. And it's like, oh, that's because this would have been in another episode. So we got to like remind the audience that, hey, remember last episode when this character says this exact same thing with Jeremy Allen White's character specifically.
I'm confused by that statement. You don't think this was a bunch of episodes stitched together, right?
It felt like it was. It definitely felt like it was, and it felt like even like the movie. I understand they filmed the movie, but my point is, it felt like episodes stitched together. And again, even with how the dialogue is said, with again one character specifically, like he'll like say a monologue, and it's almost like I got to remind the audience. It's almost like second screen viewing in a way. Like, hey, just in case you missed the first time this character said that, here's a quick reminder again.
They did do that in that one. That was that one moment in the movie they did that with Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, I did distinctly call that, like, think of that too. Like, it was second screen viewing. Is that a term? Second screen.
Isn't that what they call it? Like,
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think I might have heard it before. Like, you have, I feel like we screen, like you got a phone screen open. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if we've used that term though when we described it, because we talked about it with The Rip, right? Because it was Matt Damon when he was on the press tour, he was calling out Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily Netflix, but streaming services for repeating multiple things in the plot. They have to write the same thing in the plot so that people who aren't paying attention can pick it up. But there was that one moment. It's really weird because like I'm in a movie theater. I'm like, I'm not on my phone. Yeah, that was a strange. He's kind of said the same thing about how he's like, he was describing his own character like twice.
Yeah,
like you have to understand that I'm good.
Yeah. I'm not that guy that you think I am. I'm a good guy.
I'm this guy. Like you said that already, like 20 minutes ago, man.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that again?
Yeah,
that was weird. Yeah, I agree that was weird. I didn't feel as much like it was stitched together other than that to me necessarily from an episode's perspective. But yeah, sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I just kind of felt like that in a lot of ways. I do think that this movie looks really good. Like I think it looks better than like the Mandalorian show. Like it's clear that they had a little bit more of a budget for this. I don't know. Like, do we know if they used the volume again for this one, or were they doing more like kind of on set, like practical stuff? Because they were definitely doing more practical stuff, like stop motion with the little Babu Freak guys. I don't know if that was just the character's name or if they're all called Babu Freak, but like with those little guys, the puppetry is really good. Like little Grogu, he looks like a puppet. And again, the motions are really good. It's not like some like shoddy CGI. And it's fun. I think it's fun. I just think as a movie, it leaves a decent amount to be desired. But again, like I did enjoy it. I want to stress that. Like I did have a good time with this movie. I was in the right headspace. I was in the mood for this. I wanted just fun Star Wars, and I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws at the same time as this. I started playing Star Wars Outlaws like leading into that movie, and I'm glad I did because like Star Wars Outlaws kind of put me in the mood for Star Wars, and so like when I got into it, I'm like, yeah, this is good. Hot take though, I don't know if this is a hot take, but maybe it is. Star Wars Outlaws, better story than this movie, better character development than this movie. More enjoyable than this movie. But yeah
for the character development, I think it's longer form.
Yeah.
I hope so for that one thing, I guess. But not necessarily. I mean, movies can have really good character development too.
Yeah.
Apparently they used the volume like a little bit less. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't quite. The sourcing is hard to see here, so I'm not going to commit to it. But it looks like they used the volume, but they didn't use it as much. They didn't rely on it quite as much. The source is weird. Like, this is from The Winter is Coming. What the hell is that? It's IMDb.
Game of Thrones fan site. Like,
yeah, it's like, what? Okay, should I trust this? I don't think so. But it seems like there are reports that they use it less. But there were rumors that they were going to use it at all. They were going to abandon it for some reason, which is weird because it does look good in the Mandalorian TV show as well. It does look pretty solid.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Like this movie, I agree with you on the plot perspective in that they don't have as much character development. That's the biggest problem. The plot is a bit too simplistic as well. The complexity is like it's kind of made for like preteens in some way. Yeah. Like it's very simple. Kids, but then I'm like, I watch Pixar movies. I mean, so is that. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if you needed to make it this dumbed down. It's not necessarily that dumbed down. But what I will say, like that's my one negative of the movie. That's where I think it falters. Like that part. I don't necessarily feel like it's episodes stitched together, but there is an element of it. Like the first half of the movie, I feel like on an emotional and character development standpoint is almost non-existent. But then the second half, that's when the character development and like a little bit of character development and it's certainly emotional resonance exists, which I really do appreciate, especially in like the last third. I think that is really, really cool there. And that was really well done. But yeah, I think it justified its existence as a film instead of episodes. For me, it's tough. I feel like, and we're going to talk about this in a second with the viewership, like the actual box office numbers. I wonder if they've trained the audience though that The Mandalorian is a TV show. So you're not gonna sell it as a box in a theater when you can just wait for it to come to Disney Plus because everyone knows it will be on Disney Plus eventually. There's an element of that when we get into the box office because that is kind of a problem with this, and I think that would have been a problem no matter what you did. If they made like an Andor the movie, I feel like it might have also had something similar. Perhaps Andor's viewership is really good on Disney Plus.
The key thing is that, you know, like, I mean, for this movie, funnily enough, you actually don't have to watch The Mandalorian and like the Mandalorian TV show. You could probably go into this movie and just still have a really good time. It's kind of like a good jump off point. But as a perspective, you know, like person looking at this movie coming out like, oh, I didn't watch 3 seasons of that show. I'm not going to watch this. Right. Like it's just, you have that. I think most people are going to, I mean, even my wife, like she was like, oh, like that looks pretty good. Like, do you think I need to watch the show? I'm like, probably. And she's like, well, I'm not going to make that investment. I was like, but you should still come. And then like last second, she kind of was like, nah, I'm going to do something else.
That's a good call out too. Yeah, that's
right.
great.
So like, I think that plays a factor. Whereas like we're gonna have that Star Wars Ryan the Goose Gosling movie coming out.
Yeah, standalone.
Like it's probably gonna do better box office wise. You'd assume and hope, and it's because there's no required viewing leading up to it. I mean, I guess technically, like there are, Star Wars, but like in reality, like you don't have to watch 3 seasons of a TV show. It's not like Ryan Star Wars, the show that you watched, 2 seasons of, and then now you're going to the theater to watch like the movie finale or anything like that. Right. So I think just based on like the idea that there is a perspective of required viewing, that again, you're just not gonna, you're just not gonna watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I will say though, and I'm going to send you a quick message here to see if you can see this chart, just so you can kind of have it in the running here as well. I got this one too, which is pretty cool. But there was for Star Wars Day this year, they looked at they kind of broke down some website it was Nielsen ratings. They broke down what the Star Wars streaming minutes are. First of all, I will say this. There's an element of like people thinking Star Wars. I was going to get into what I thought of the movie. I'll get into that in a second, but I feel like this is a better segue to talk about the viewership. Star Wars is watched a lot. Okay. It is a crazy juggernaut on Disney Plus website. I know there's a lot of haters out there who's going to say, oh, it's because Star Wars. People don't like Star Wars anymore. That's not true, because apparently fans streamed 33 billion minutes of Star Wars in 2025. That is, I think, arguably, I don't think Nielsen's broken down every franchise, but it is the most popular franchise on streaming services. Like for all the streaming services, if you look at the numbers we actually have, because I'm sure Netflix doesn't really release all their numbers and all that stuff. So it is very popular. I'll say that. They spent a lot less money to make this movie than the other Star Wars movies. There's a lot of doom and gloom around this movie because the box office, even you kind of started off the hop when we started the episode here. You're talking about how it's not getting box office numbers. There are over 200 million at the box office right now. We're on the third weekend. Well, as we record this episode of our podcast, they spent 165 million to make it. They spent 120 million to make the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, which was on streaming. This will be on streaming. I made that argument when we were leaving the theater. They may have, again, you might be right too. People have, you're losing viewership because people are worried about the sequel syndrome. Like they're not jumping in because they haven't seen the required viewing for what they feel like is a required viewing to watch The Mandalorian and Grogu. But there's also the element that they've been trained to watch it on streaming. And even they've made over $200 million at the box office and in counting. And they will be on a streaming service where the people who don't go and watch the movie in theaters will then watch it. If they spend $120 million on the 3rd season and spend $165 million on this, plus some marketing, of course, they're going to make the money back. It's kind of like validly making Disney Plus the center of Disney, which is what Josh D'Amaro, the CEO, I believe, said. That's what he's hoping. Disney Plus is going to be the center of Disney. It's the hub where everyone comes, to look at Disney as a kind of a overall product. So I think it's a success, but I know that people will be doom and gloom about it overall for the box office numbers. And I think you're right. The sequel aspect of it is also a big thing. And I think you're right also that the Star Wars Starfighter movie by Sean Levy will be with Ryan Gosling will be more popular also because of Ryan Gosling, actually. Like, I feel like Ryan Gosling's never been more popular after Project Hail Mary in some way. Like, his star is just continuing to rise. So I think that will be huge, as long as that movie's not at like a down in the dumps, like 40% of Rotten Tomatoes or some shit. Critics didn't love this though. And going back to what I believe about this movie, I think this movie is, I don't know what people expected in some aspect, because some of the reviews I read one review where they were saying this is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. It's garbage. It's terrible. And I'm like, you're insane. I'm so sorry, but you're crazy. I don't know who you are, but you're on a legit website. You're like, a legit like publication for movies. And you're saying this shit. No. I cannot at all believe this. Well, for me, this movie, and I'm bringing this term back from my brother, is a McDonald's ball pit movie. And it's the perfect McDonald's ball pit movie. We also don't get that many action adventure movies like this at all. There's just not that many of them like that, where you're kind of like, I was going to say globetrotting, but in this case, you're kind of moving from place to place across like different, like through the galaxy in a spaceship. You're traveling along with your cool companion. There's a theme park film aspect of it, which is quite ironic because who's in this movie? Martin Scorsese. Mm-hmm. But it's just a very fun ride to be on. It's like a Disney World ride, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. And a bad thing in that it doesn't have as much substance from a character development standpoint, as you pointed out. I think that would have been more fitting. It would have been better in that way, especially if you're going to do a feature film with these characters. But it is such a fun ride to be on, and it is a perfect popcorn movie. When we got to the theater, we were buying popcorn, and you said, "Oh, the perfect movie for popcorn." And I agree with that, because I think this is kind of what this movie is designed for. And I think there can be movies of different types. People have expectations for, like, why are their expectations so high on everything? Or what they want it to be is what they expect it to be. That's not how life works. It could have been bad. I don't think it was bad at all. I think the fight scenes, the fight choreography, really good. Great. I think the monsters in this, like some of the creatures design, so cool. I thought it was like one of the creatures, like I thought was really badass and cool. I don't know. I think it was a little bit too kid friendly for my taste. So like I feel like it should be more Pixar-esque, and that it could be more mature and kid friendly at the same time. And I think case in point is Jeremy Allen White's character. Actually, I think that he's the perfect example of why it's like, well, I don't know, not that he repeats the lines over and over again, but it's just like he's a little bit. You're like forcing this down my throat that you're a cool guy. Okay, I get it. All right, yeah, I understand. I don't need to hear it over and over again. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was like really fun. I just had such a fun time at the movies with this one. And it's funny because it's like going from Obsession to this one. Both, I think, valid in their own rights. Obsession being a remarkable movie that will probably get a lot of like awards love maybe even at the Oscars as the season comes. But certainly, like they're just, one of them was a torturous experience, and the other one was a really fun experience. And Obsession is just a torturous experience because it's a deep horror, like psychological horror in some way. And so this is such a fun movie to go see in theaters. And we went to see it with Ken. As well, Kenneth Stadelbauer, who's often written into our show and is our long-term time friend from work in the past. I think he liked it as well. I
think he agreed on the pacing, like it being kind of like a lot of stops and starts, that it felt episodic in a way, but he did really like it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I love Ken. I love him dearly, but after learning to be fair, I never watched the show. I never watched The Acolyte. But after him saying that he liked The Acolyte better than Andor, I don't trust any of his opinions moving forward. So, crazy statement.
The Acolyte, by the way, very good show. Not better than Andor, so that's not possible. But The Acolyte is good.
I almost want to watch The Acolyte just to be certain about his statement.
You're right.
Yeah,
no,
you know what?
You don't have to watch it for that. But I will watch it because you will understand how the internet hate destroyed that. It's the same thing as Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws was destroyed by internet hate. It was the reviews weren't super hot at the beginning. There were some weird issues with it right at the start for reviewers. But it was still 75 on Metacritic at the time. And I don't know what they would re-review it to be now, but I just think that like audiences should have bought that game because it is truly a delight to play. And The Acolyte is a similar idea in that it's a delight to watch, but there are issues with it that are not glaring issues, but are issues that you can fix. It's almost like this analogy doesn't quite work because I think Daredevil Born Again is a little bit of a better show than The Acolyte. Like if you're looking at season 1 versus season 1 for both of the shows, I think the Born Again is still better. But I think The Acolyte, though, is like that. I feel like they were hitting their stride near the end of the season, and they would have lifted off and like went into the stratosphere if they got a second chance to do season 2. But people didn't watch it. They didn't go see it on Disney Plus, so it failed because everyone heard it was bad. It was bad. It was terrible. Horrible. It's an 80% on Metacritic, I think. The Acolyte. Sorry, I said Metacritic. My mistake.
Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
because those are very different scores in the way that they're built. That's why I wanted to correct that. But yeah, cool. Where was I? Did I have anything else to say about Mandalorian and Grogu? Yeah, it's a McDonald's ball pit. It's a return of the ball pit, Adrian. And it's back. Oh, I didn't really talk about why I said that, because who's listening to this that knows what I'm talking about? The McDonald's ball pit is a term my brother used to describe nostalgic things. The ball pit. It's funny because it existed in my mind the same way as well. I am sure you remember this, Adrian. But the idea of like the smell of sweaty socks on plastic, and like the sweat on the slide as you go down and stuff like that. There's something gross about it, but the olfactory nerve, perks up like a spidey sense, and olfactory nerve is famously tied to memory. Your smell is tied to your memory, and so there is an element of like nostalgic things. Kind of whenever there's a nostalgic thing, I think of the McDonald's ball pit because of my brother and what he said about it. But things like Teddy Ruxpin is a McDonald's ball pit type situation. This grand adventure they're going on. I don't want to watch that in modern times, because I think that animated show is not nearly as good as I believed it was when I was a kid. But The Mandalorian and Grogu is just a fun ride. And it's just this action adventure movie where they're going on this adventure across the galaxy. And it's so interesting and intriguing. But it's a little bit less substance than I would have wanted from a story perspective. But I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it too.
I think people are too harsh. I think they need to kind of realize that there's movies for everything. And you don't, there are bad movies as well. Rise of Skywalker, a bad movie. But, this isn't that. It's just a different side of Star Wars. Just like Andor has got a lot of substance, the most substance maybe in Star Wars, and is also good. It's incredible, but it's also on the good side of the spectrum. It's not on the below zero, sub-zero type situation like Rise of Skywalker is, which is bad.
That is an actual bad movie. It's interesting. I feel like there's a lot of, again, we always talk about this, that there's little nuance these days in discussion. It's either something is like really amazing and it exceeds like people's expectations and like, wow, best thing ever. Like, this is awesome. I love it. Or it's like anywhere from, middling to just kind of okay, and it's the worst thing ever. And I feel like people don't want to enjoy things as much anymore with specific franchises. And I think Star Wars is one of those franchises where people
fun to hate things is the problem.
Yeah. And it's like, I think it's okay to acknowledge that, this movie is far from a masterpiece, but it's entertainment, man. It makes you feel good. Like, and sometimes that's all you need. There's a lot of funny
moments too. Yeah. But we didn't even talk about Grogu and
how it's actually really good comedy.
Grogu and the mechanics, that whole thing is such a fun little. It is also, I guess, like another movie that's kind of McDonald's ball pit is Dark Crystal. I don't know if you ever watched Dark Crystal,
Never,
Jim Henson's Dark Crystal. That's kind of like that too. And that there's like these puppets, like that's how it's a movie based upon. It's Jim Henson, so it makes sense. But it's puppets like in this like medieval fantasy type situation. But Oh, another McDonald's ball pit is Willow. You ever watch Willow? Did we talk about this? We must have.
Yeah, we did, but I never watched it.
Your sister has some connection with Willow. Is that right, or am I wrong?
She liked Willow a lot as a movie, like the movie a lot. But they just deleted that show, right? They did like the one season.
So they made a TV show sequel to Willow, and it was on Disney Plus. And then for the tax credits, they deleted it because it wasn't watched enough. People didn't go see it.
It's crazy. I'm pretty sure wipe things out of existence.
That's crazy. Willow wiped from existence is what I'm typing into Google just to make sure that I'm not mistaken. Because I thought they had done that for Westworld, but it's still available on Crave, so I don't think they quite did that. It was officially canceled in March 2023. Disney entirely removed the expensive fantasy series from Disney Plus as a cost-cutting measure. That's crazy. It's crazy stuff. We think it's going to give us less value by removing it. I think that's a wrong though as well. I think that math is wrong because I think if you leave it on long enough, it could be rediscovered over time. Like, oh wow, this is good. Because actually, unless it wasn't reviewed well, in which case it probably would never have really picked up. It was reviewed like less than a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I feel like it was reviewed well. I feel like that was kind of the thing.
I thought so too. I thought it was like an 80 something, but I'm not 100% sure. Willow TV series.
It was 84.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Audience was 65, so...
I never watched it, though, so I'm part of the problem, I guess.
Oh, you never watched it? Well, now you never can.
Because Willow, the movie is really good, and it is a McDonald's ball pit, I think, for me. I wonder if my brother would agree on that, because he showed me Willow, actually. He showed me Star Wars as well. Star Wars in general is a McDonald's ball pit type situation, too. I remember seeing it on the Castle Grade TV. Sorry?
Unless you're watching Andor, in which case it is a masterpiece.
No, I'm saying the original. So the original trilogy. Yeah. I first saw that on like a cathode ray tube in like a living room and like a small tiny TV, and like my brother's like, I'm going to show you this, and we like watched like all 3 movies when I was sick, like over the course of like a couple days. So we watched like the original Star Wars from 1977, and then Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi, and so it was just like it was so like that feels nostalgic too. And there's this idea that that George Lucas always said that Star Wars was for kids. I think that's interesting now because of this movie in some way. And that this is kind of like, I think this is the Star Wars is for kids the most, except for if we're looking at TV series, and then we're looking at Skeleton Crew, which is for kids by kids. I
forgot that show existed.
I don't really like it. I got to say,
yeah.
But the thing is, I acknowledge that it's not necessarily for me, and I think it is good overall. I just don't, I think it's kind of weak. It's not as entertaining as it should be. I feel like it's okay. Because it's like, it's not, it could be doing something closer to Stranger Things. Not quite, because that's pretty dark. Like just be a little bit, these kids are just a little too immature for me, and they make dumb decisions constantly. And like, they're kids, of course they're going to do that. But I just feel like, I don't know, I don't love that show. It's fine. This is a way more entertaining for kids entry in the Star Wars universe. And I keep thinking back on that review that was just so negative. Like, this is the worst thing Star Wars has ever done. It's garbage. Star Wars is done. I don't know. It was terrible. Anyway, moving on. Are we done with this conversation about Mandalorian?
I think so, yeah. I think
on Letterboxd, the score can change. It can change. But for me, I rated it a 3.5 out of 5. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think I'd put it at around a 3. Probably a 3.
Okay. Cool, man. All right. That's good. Now, Adrian, it is time to move on to the montage, a sequence of our show in which I briefly present at least 7 of the bye week's smaller news stories as Adrian delivers a brisk verdict. Number 1. As announced by Amazon's MGM Studios, the search for the next James Bond has officially begun.
Where are they going to find him? Where are they going to find him? They don't even know who he is.
I think that's the point. Number 2. Sonic 4 has officially wrapped production and will launch on March 19th, 2027.
Nice, dude. They got Metal Sonic in this one.
Is that true?
I think so. I saw like a picture and there's a big Metal Sonic guy.
Oh, okay, cool. Number 3. As Variety reports, FX has greenlit a series order for TV horror comedy Very Young Frankenstein from What We Do in the Shadows series writer Stephanie Robinson. The show is set to star Hangover actor Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, interesting. I know you really love that What We Do in the Shadows series. I got to get back to that show. I enjoyed what I watched. I think you really enjoyed what I watched.
Oh, you watched some of it?
Yeah, I think I watched the first season or 2. I can't remember how far I got.
It's great.
Yeah. It's really funny, yeah.
Number 4. As Variety has reported, a new Texas-based spin-off of the 20-season medical drama Grey's Anatomy has been greenlit by network ABC.
Oh, another Grey's spin-off. Interesting. This one's barbecue related.
What?
It's barbecue related. Like Texas barbecue related.
What? Why would that be?
I'm just guessing.
Okay. Number 5. As Deadline reports, the Odyssey actor Matt Damon is in talks to star in the science fiction follow-up film from Everything Everywhere All at Once Oscar-winning directors Daniel Scheinert and Daniel Kwan.
Nice. I assume replacing Ryan the Goose Gosling's role.
Yeah,
okay.
Number 6. The Brad Pitt starring film The Adventures of Cliff Booth from director David Fincher and writer Quentin Tarantino will debut in IMAX theaters on November 25th, 2026, with its Netflix streaming premiere set for December 23rd.
Cool. I want to watch this. I'm interested.
Number 7. As Deadline reports, alternate timeline Spartacus spin-off series Spartacus House of Asher has been canceled after its first season.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, come on. I didn't want to watch it. I love Spartacus. I don't want to watch it.
Number 8. As Variety reports, Silicon Valley showrunner Mike Judge is making a prison comedy called Protective Custody, starring Meet the Parents actor Ben Stiller for streamer Apple TV.
Cool. Interesting. Mike Judge has done a lot.
Number 9. Director Christian Mangiu's immigrant story film Fjord, starring Avengers Endgame actor Sebastian Stan, has won the coveted Palme d'Or top prize at the 79th Annual Cannes Film Festival.
Amazing pronunciation of the Palme d'Or.
I'm sure it was bad, but thanks for the mock. Number 10. According to The Hollywood Reporter, pre-production on Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV series The Rings of Power is beginning on season 4, months prior to the season 3 premiere in November of 2026.
Nice. I haven't watched it.
There's a lot of negative hype around it, though. And it's weird that they haven't even launched season 3 and they're already starting pre-production on season 4. Just saying. Yeah. Number 11. According to publication Variety, Guardians of the Galaxy actor Karen Gillan has been cast in season 4 of the Apple TV comedy Shrinking. The new season will largely feature the same all-star cast and a time jump.
That's crazy. How did they say that? How long time jump? How far?
No, not that I saw.
Okay.
And that concludes the montage. Yep.
Cool.
Okay. All right, Adrian. Let's dive now into a trilogy of topical tidings, a component of our show where we discuss at least 3 film and TV industry news stories that have been somewhat zeitgeisty over the past 2 weeks. The first, we can spend as little or as much time as we want on this. I don't know how interested you are on this. It's kind of a Canadian political topic. The new CRTC, there's a new CRTC Canadian content rule for streamers. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this?
No.
Okay.
I'm learning this on the fly. I'm reading it right now as you're going to be reading it out loud.
I'm going to say it too. The CRTC will require streamers to pay 15% of revenue towards investment into Canadian-made content. In other words, if a streaming company makes over $25 million in Canada from Canadian revenue specifically, 15% of the revenue made in Canada must be reinvested into Canadian production, which is up from the previously required 5%. Major streaming services like Amazon and Apple are challenging the ruling in court. Organizations like Canadian Acting Union ACTRA support the CRTC ruling.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not educated enough to really talk on this topic too much, but it makes... Sorry, okay. Go ahead.
I could riff on some thoughts and then you can jump in if you want. I've put some thought into it if you just read it for the first time.
Yeah, riff, and I'll add to it.
Here's the thing. Here's from my perspective why this is weird. And so these streaming companies don't like this. We just had a digital services tax removed. We were going to impose upon the US. The Canadian government was going to impose upon the United States. If you were selling digital goods in Canada, there was going to be a specific tax that is on those goods in a deeper way because it was hard to tax digital services. I don't know if you saw that happen or not, but they removed it because Donald Trump had an issue with it because of the tariffs. There was they've been having this tariff war, the trade war. And so they kind of removed it. That blanket digital service tax, I kind of feel like makes more sense than this. This is kind of odd to me because what this is doing, all the revenue you make if you're Netflix in Canada, out of all of it, 15% then have to be dumped back into the Canadian film and TV industry. That's why ACTRA is involved. My sister is actually a part of ACTRA. Fun fact.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. She was in like a movie as an extra with Dustin Hoffman. Anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Like just a little name drop. My sister, famous. No, I'm kidding. She's
was
not
this
doing
recent?
That anymore. So, no, a long time ago. When we were kids, we were in things.
Yeah.
Very, very, like as child actors, very, very, very small things that weren't, you couldn't find us in the crowd, probably in the movies or commercials. But yeah, the ACTRA, that's my connection to ACTRA. But ACTRA is getting involved because they're obviously the union for actors in Toronto. And so they like this idea, obviously, because they're going to get more, their people are going to get more jobs. It makes sense. They're a union for acting in Toronto. So that makes sense. Mm-hmm. The problem with this for me, though, is how is it going to affect us? Now, I like this in that it's a check and balance on capitalism. The problem is if you force these companies to pour more money here, is there a chance they'll try to change the way that it works here so that they don't have to do that? Because these companies are like sly. In other words, will they maybe pull back some of their offerings in Canada because of the worry that they have to spend 15% of their revenue here? In some aspect, will that cause issues? 5% to 15% is a huge increase of what they have to reinvest in the Canadian market. I just think this is maybe a bad idea in that also I'm a fan of cap and trade for a completely different analogy in terms of like taxing like big companies on pollutants versus carbon tax. I think carbon tax is a stupid concept, but cap and trade where you basically give companies credits for not polluting over a certain limit and then allow them to use those credits and sell them to companies who are polluting more, and then bringing the cap lower and lower every year so that companies basically have to lower their pollutants or they're going to get caught paying lots of money to the government or elsewhere, is a good system because it specifically targets corporate greed, which is super useful. I think incentive programs are more effective than forcing companies to reinvest or forcing them to pay taxes. The digital services tax, not the greatest thing in that it also just forces them to pay taxes, but it was not a huge percentage, I think. So that was why it was kind of okay. But they removed that and then they're implementing this. So it's like, if you're going to do one thing and then do the other, this just seems like a dumb idea in some aspect. So that's kind of my thought process on this. I like this in that I like the idea of furthering the film and TV industry in Canada. I think that's great. But I think this is a huge escalation. I don't know why. It's just like Donald Trump's tariffs. Like, why do you want to tariff these giant blanket numbers? Shouldn't you be increasing them over the years? 1%, 2%, 3%. Why 10% blanket tariffs? Why 15% of all revenue? Why are you increasing it by 10%? All of a sudden, it's just a huge escalation. Shouldn't you allow these companies to adjust over time? I'm no economist. I just think this is a stupid idea because you also want these companies to stay in Canada, and you don't want to push them out by forcing them to do weird drastic things like go to court against you because you're kind of, again, it would be nice to have incentive programs rather than this, but also it would be nice if you just did it gradually if you're going to do the taxing measure. Those are kind of my thoughts. I hope hopefully that came out in the giant paragraph that I just recited to you. But
I agree. And I think the exact same thing. I would have ordered that exactly the same. So okay. No issues there. Yeah. So I guess my thought process around this, from like, I don't know, a layman's perspective is, so you talked about like them possibly pulling back, right? And maybe not offering as much of their content here or their streaming services here. Would that mean that they would then license out their products to other like Canadian only streaming services like a Crave? Because like we don't get HBO Max here.
Interesting.
Right? We pay Crave, which is a Canadian company. It's Bell owned and operated, but we get all the HBO content because I guess they own the licensing to that. So is that what kind of would happen?
That's really smart. I didn't even think of that. That could happen. Yeah, that's really smart. They might use the streaming services here. Warner Brothers is known to do this. So obviously Sony's doing it anyway. But I wonder if like Netflix would then license stuff that they would normally have on Netflix in Canada because they want to avoid paying. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. This should shake out in many ways. I'm sure they're in the boardrooms talking about how to avoid, because they don't want to reinvest this much money. But that's a really good call out, because I feel like that's already happening here with weird things. What's a good example of that that's like not Warner Brothers though? Has there been anything? Well, I guess Peacock, but like because there hasn't been Peacock content. NBC stuff, NBC Universal. They put their stuff on Peacock in the States, but we don't have Peacock or an equivalent, so it goes here. So they wouldn't have to worry. But that's not fair to them, because they're like, oh, so we don't have a streaming service in Canada, so now we went out? Well, they wouldn't be asking that question, but Netflix would be like, wait, so if we were Peacock, we don't have to pay anything? Because we're just basically licensing it out to another streaming. It's just, that doesn't make any sense. There's like an element of like, would they do that? They might just say, you know what, we're going to pull out of Canada. We're just going to license our content. Stranger Things will just go on Crave.
Yeah.
But why though? That's not really solving. That's actually worse for us for sure though, because then Crave goes up.
Yeah.
If Netflix content was on
then it
Crave,
would literally only be Crave, because we don't have any other streaming services, right? There's no other Canadian streaming service that I can think of.
There was one before that was substantial, the Rogers one, but that one got shut down. And I guess you can consider like City TV. The City TV streaming, there's like a streaming element. You know what I mean? Like, do we have streaming elements to CBC Gem? They exist, but CBC Gem is rough. For various reasons. But CBC is also kind of publicly funded, so it's like a different type. It's like PBS in the States, right? So anyway, I just thought this was an interesting topic because I wonder what it would do. I think bringing it up here is interesting because as the years go by, and if we continue this podcast, like in a year from now, if we look at this again, it's like, what were the effects? We might not know what they are because they're happening behind the scenes, but this could be an effect for other things. I just think that, again, the escalation is crazy. Yeah. Like, they were okay with 5%. They were doing it already. So they're just like, we're going to change it. It's funny because CRTC kind of sucks here for various reasons. Like, it feels like Bell and Rogers and TELUS kind of just run the show, and it almost like they run the CRTC. They're supposed to be governed by, like, the CRTC is a governing, like, government body that's supposed to govern these big telecom companies, but they're kind of getting pushed around constantly. And so I think it's kind of weird. Like, you're going to push around the American, go look inside, look within. Like, come on. Like, it's stupid. You don't do anything, but I feel like there are some rules added. Did you see that they're shutting down? There's no more cell phone activation fees. They're shutting that down.
Oh, that's
CRTC
wonderful.
made a ruling. Apparently that's going to happen. I don't know if that happened yet, but apparently that's going to be shut down. And there was something about not allowing cancellation fees for contracts for Wi-Fi, I think, for internet, ISPs as well. That's apparently that was going to happen. So they are actually making movies. I don't know if this is like new. I haven't looked into this. I wonder if it's like CRTC is run by a different, like the head of the CRTC is just more aggressive and more like public facing.
Yeah.
Like a more like somebody who actually cares. That kind of thing. That could be what's happening. Maybe it's all coming down, because I actually didn't just I think I just connected that now in my head. I didn't even think of that before we started the show. Like, I think the fact that they're shutting down activation fees. So every time in Canada, I don't know if this is the same in the States, when you activate your phone, you get a new phone plan, you have to pay this fee to upgrade. Usually it's like $90 or something, right?
Yeah, well, dude, like 10 years ago, it was like, I think $25 or something, and then it's gone up so exponentially. It's pointless. It's dumb.
Yeah,
I don't pay that. I buy my phones out right now, and I have my one plan and just continue using that plan for an extended period. But they did do things where it's like, if you get it online, you don't have to pay the fee, shit like that. But it's dumb and it's frustrating, and I hate it.
Let's see here. Activation, modification, and cancellation fees are going away in Canada starting June 12th. Oh, wow. That's imminent.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
So it was announced earlier this year, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's cool. That's it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing negative to us as consumers. Like it's gonna have to go both ways. Like, you can not punish them, but you can kind of, you're not really trying to punish the streamers. You're really just trying to bolster industry in Canada. That's cool. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. I just think you gotta temper what you're doing so that it's not extreme. Like, I know that some of these people who I'm sure like work at the CRTC are like, oh, I gotta make my mark. Like, yeah, you do, but like you gotta everything's gotta be with like nuance. It's just what we just talked about with the conversation about Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, people don't look at it with nuance. They're just like, this is bad Star Wars. This is the worst Star Wars ever. It's like, okay, relax. There was I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you go on IGN that much anymore. I don't go on it as often. I usually use Push Square and stuff like that for my gaming news. Like, yeah. But IGN had a ranking for the Star Wars movies. So like one of the editors there had a ranking. It's pretty like almost on like where my ranking is. It's actually quite interesting. That it might be worth looking at just to see if it was. It's not quite like, there are some things I would reorder for me. I think it's just the movies, I'm pretty sure. So like not including like Andor, but there's a lot of movies. So it's something to potentially look at if you're interested, because it's not bad. Like, when I got to the bottom, I'm like, because where they also put The Last Jedi, that's what my biggest thing was. Because The Last Jedi in particular is the movie that is incredibly divisive. And so where they put that, I'm most impressed with. But again, it's not spot on. But I'm like, this is a respectable. It's not ridiculous. It wasn't IGN, ridiculous, by the way, that said that Mandalorian and Grogu was horrible. It wasn't them. They, again, whoever said that literally said it was the worst Star Wars movie. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Okay.
This article was published in May 2022, but updated in 2026 with Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, they just added it in. Yeah. That's fair.
Interesting. Yeah, I think this is a fair one. I don't fully agree with it, but I do agree with, Rise of Skywalker being in last place.
Yeah.
You're right.
Easy.
You're right on the money. Attack of the Clones being in second last place. You're right on the money.
Even the first one, I think Empire is my favorite one too. Empire Strikes Back. So
it's great. I think Return of the Jedi is a little high, personally, but
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, The Last Jedi would be ahead of Return of the Jedi for me, personally.
So would Rogue One.
Maybe. Did you end up watching it again after Andor? Rogue One?
No.
Because I don't think I did. It made it a little worse for me. It's kind of a sad thing.
Oh, it made Rogue One worse?
Yeah. Because there's no character. The character development it's you can't do it in the movie. I think that's the weird thing about Mandalorian and Grogu too. It's like, why do you want to go to this format? This is already movies. Like, you spent $120 million on season 3. Why would we want to go backwards? You had more character development in the show, The Mandalorian, because you have time to do that when you have a 10 episode, it's 8 episode season. So you have the time. I don't really understand why it's like a bit of a downgrade in that way. Yeah. But that's where I'm saying, like, by the midpoint of the movie and onward, it kind of feels like, okay, I can see this being an actual film. Like, I can see how it has a beginning, middle, and end. There's like conflict issues though in the beginning. Like, is there going to be a conflict? Like, is it just going to be, he goes to this place on this fetch quest, and then he goes to this place, and like, no, they actually do have a story that does unfold throughout the film. I feel like that was my biggest worry for the first half. Anyway, we're going backwards. Let's go forwards now to the next trilogy of topical tidings topic, which is in an magazine interview, which is interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. It's called Interview Magazine, with Obsession director Corey Barker, weapons director Zach Kreger, who is interviewing, and they're going back and forth, Corey Barker. Weapons director Zach Kreger, the director of the upcoming Resident Evil film, described the reaction to the Resident Evil movie trailer. Oh yeah, I forgot I have a quote. I gotta look for that. He described it as, do I have it here? Oh no. What did I do? It's here somewhere. Let me look.
Suspense is killing me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I did not prepare this properly. He said, quote, "I really like the movie a lot," describing Resident Evil like he's done it essentially. It's been a wild week since the teaser came out to see the divided reaction online. There's so many people that clearly really want the video game, meaning the characters and the story from the video game, and anything different than that is really not welcomed. I didn't realize how passionate some people were about that, unquote. I can keep going, or you can, if you have a comment on that, we can just stop here. But the next bit is kind of related to that, so I can just keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I've decided.
Yeah,
an answer.
Okay.
Kreger is adapting the horror games. I just have some context. Kreger is adapting the horror game series for the big screen, and is notably creating a story within the Resident Evil universe without using the tentpole characters or storylines from the very popular long-running franchise.
Yeah.
So he continued to Barker. He said, quote, "But if I did that, as in use those characters and storylines from the games, but if I did that, and I don't think that I'd be, I don't think that I'd be creatively fulfilled, and I don't even think they would enjoy it. If I just did the story of the games, I think the most diehard fans would be bummed. So I don't know what to do about it," unquote. Yeah, you are great. A big fan of Resident Evil.
I do really enjoy it. Well. Yeah.
What do you make of this? I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see this actually. But this is a great perspective, because I do agree. Like, I think if he were to just kind of redo the story of, Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2, I don't think it would land. all too well. I just this might be a hot take, but like Resident Evil isn't great because they have really good stories. Like to be totally blunt, like I think they're good. They're fun. They're campy. You know, there is like a plot to them,
right?
But that's not what makes Resident Evil so great. What makes it great is again the campy nature to it, the vibe, the survival horror gameplay, that you know that feeling of terror that you get when you're going through it. So him kind of going and again creating his own story in this universe that's going to follow it, you know, tonally, I imagine. Which again, from some of the clips I've seen, it seems like he's getting a nail. It's awesome. And I think that's the best way to do it. And again, people complaining about this online being like, oh, they should just make the exact same, you know, copy the story or whatever else. It's like, or have the main characters, you know, your Leon, your Jill, your Claire, your Chris, your Sherry, all these people in it. I just don't think that's necessary, especially considering like Resident Evil, its resurgence was doing Resident Evil 7, which is its own thing, which is its own story, not connected. Again, it's in the universe, but it's not like you don't have your Leon right off the bat, you know, kicking people and doing all that jazz. Like it's its own thing. And that's what I think kind of brought the series back. So again, Zach Cregger has nailed it with his past two movies. Barbarian's awesome. Weapons is awesome. I think he obviously has a very deep understanding of Resident Evil, the way he talks about it. And considering how good his last two movies were, I am super confident in the quality of this upcoming Resident Evil movie. There's not a worry in my bone. And I do honestly, again, prefer for like a franchise like this, like it's not The Last of Us, you know, like where The Last of Us is, again, it's really awesome to play. And but like the reason why The Last of Us was so special for so many people is because of that story. And having a story of that level and that quality in a video game was honestly never done in that way. Like it was an HBO show, the game. And you know, now it is HBO show, the HBO show. So like, I think the way Zach Cregger is going about this is 100% the right way to go about this. I'm very excited about it. And again, people complaining, being like, oh, bring in my Leon, bring in all that stuff. We had that movie. It came out in 2021. It was called Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. And nobody watched it and nobody liked it. And I understand that like they didn't do the best job with like the character interpretations, but that movie was fun as hell. And they told the first two games story. And you know what? The story of that movie, not particularly great because those stories don't hold up that well when it's just cinema. It's absurd. Anyways.
It's interesting call out because we talked about adaptations in the past.
Yes.
For video game adaptations and which ones work the best theoretically. And my theory was the ones that work the best are the ones you can impose a story on top of that have a vibe. They've got a serious vibe. A best example of this, or on the flip side, the other ones that work the best is, as you just described it, The Last of Us, is if you are already making the game is already a linear storyline with an incredible storyline, you can remake it as a TV show or a movie and you can pull it off. This one, Resident Evil, then is what you're saying is like Fallout. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the Fallout TV series where it's got a vibe and you're capturing the vibe and you can impose your own storyline on top of that vibe. Is that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about that before. That's why we were talking about also Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know what you're going to do with that because that's right in between. I think that might be a failure on HBO because they're making Baldur's Gate 3 into a TV show on HBO.
Yeah.
Could you do that one because that one is sort of a vibe? Not really. And it's really a story, but the story is told by you as you make choices. I don't know if you can pull this off.
I don't think you can.
Like Life is Strange is in the HBO's The Last of Us camp. You know what I mean? They're making a show for the Life is Strange first game. And there are choices, but largely it is kind of linear. There are some branching. It is very linear. But they're not really.
It's a picture book that you're coloring in. You're putting your own color to it, but it ends up the same way, except for it's one of two choices at the end of it. You're just kind of putting your own flair to it. But like again, Baldur's Gate 3 and specifically, like that game has multiple different. It's not just dialogue. There's so many different variety, a huge variety of choices and everything like that. And to be fair, with Life is Strange, it's about a kid that can turn back time. You can literally touch on the different aspects of the game as well by quite literally turning back time and going down another pathway. So like you can still touch on that stuff too. So, but no, 100%. It's about finding that right vibe.
And this is the vibe. This is the vibe avenue versus the story, the set story avenue is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So for Resident Evil. So we'll see how it goes, but I think he's going to nail it that is kind of better, because the thing is that I love that you pointed this out, because we didn't really talk about this before. We've talked about this Resident Evil movie a few times. They've always failed largely from a plot perspective. Like there's no critics that are like, yeah, Resident Evil with Mila Jovovich is like freaking the greatest movie ever. You know what I mean? Like no one's ever said that. Like Welcome to Raccoon City, not regarded as that good. The other one that's also the same way, Lance Reddick, the Lance Reddick TV show on Netflix. I forgot about that. Not regarded as that good. There's been lots of tries at this. They were all hacking away at it, and they've all tried to use the characters in a deeper way, typically, versus what Krager is trying to do. And I think he's right, because he's going to be right because he's good at what he does. I think that's I don't know if how much it's going to feel like Resident Evil, and you'll determine that in October when we watch it. It's October, right? Did I just say that as well?
It is October. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. So that's exciting. Cool.
It's very exciting.
Speaking of Curry Barker, as the Hollywood Reporter reports, Adrian, director Curry Barker's horror film Obsession has done an incredibly rare feat by increasing box office sales by 39% for its second weekend in theaters.
It's crazy.
For a film outside of the holiday season, Obsession has broken records by earning $23.9 million domestically over Memorial Day weekend, after it made $17.1 million for its opening weekend. Obsession has so far earned over $68 million at the box office on a budget of $750,000. And on the side to that, Backrooms is absolutely killing it and is breaking records for A24, the studio producing that film. Kane Parsons is the director. I don't know what the budget is. I'm not sure if they talked about that.
I think it was $10 million, if I recall correctly. Like on a budget of about $10 million.
But the movie's made $81 million domestically in its opening weekend, which is the weekend we're recording this.
Yeah.
And has made $118 million worldwide, which is crazy. Which is really crazy because, again, the budget was $10 million. And these guys are both kind of from a similar background. They're both kind of from social media. It's kind of where they've built their brand kind of thing. But Backrooms is different in that Backrooms is very much, obviously, it's almost like he's working within the Hollywood system in a strange way, in a very, very off the Hollywood system, but pulling in actors like Chiwetel Ejiofor and it's Renata Rensby. Rensby? They're both names that are hard to pronounce, to be honest. But she almost won an Oscar, right? She got nominated for
Sentimental Value last year. Yeah,
with Stellan Skarsgård.
Yep,
at the Oscars, and yeah. Oh, and Shrinking Girl.
Daughter in Shrinking Girl.
Damn it, she's really good in Shrinking.
Yeah, she is great.
I'd love to say she's good in Backrooms, but we couldn't find tickets anyway.
Dude, it's crazy. I did not realize how popular this movie was going to be. Like, I don't know why. I guess I should have. Because, again, I've been watching, or I have watched all the Backrooms YouTube by Kane Parsons. It's Kane Pixels on YouTube. And he's done, I think, 23 videos. And I've been watching them over the last little bit. And some of those are pulling in millions of views. Like I think his first one's at like 78 million views. And then obviously the subsequent ones are less, but they are pulling in millions upon millions of views. So I'm not too surprised that this is that popular. The trailer I think did well as well. The trailer, performed numbers. I don't know why. I just didn't think it was going to be that huge, but I wanted to go. We were planning on going on the Thursday night. It wasn't playing in our hometown of Guelph here. And then I looked at the nearest theaters in Cambridge. I was like, okay, cool. We'll go there. Sold out for both showings, like totally sold out. I was like, damn, that's kind of shocking. So I do really want to watch this movie.
It'll be easier to find tickets.
Yeah.
Next week, like tremendously. Like we're gonna go into a theater and it's gonna be empty, I think.
Yeah.
because this is popular, but it's not. It's funny, actually. To your credit, there was a thing we were talking on a chat on Marathon or something like that while we were gaming, and you were talking about obsession, and you were talking about how it's everywhere, like everyone's talking about this. And that when you said that, I was like, yeah, I know, but it made like 17 million. And then the next weekend, it was like we're going into the next weekend when we were playing. It literally made way more money than it did before. So people were talking about it. They weren't talking about it like it's a blockbuster, but it's still crazy what it's done. Like it's insane what it's pulled off within the time frame that it's had.
The word of mouth on this movie is immaculate. Like again, one of my buddies one of my buddies watched it last night because I told him about it. I was like, dude, like I know he likes horror. And I'm like, trust me, like you'll go. And then he's like, he has a kid. He's like, we got a babysitter to watch this movie. Like it better be good.
I took the child.
No, he didn't take the baby.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. So he's he went and really enjoyed it. So
it's cool.
It's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, again, again algorithmically, obviously, it's being shown to me.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. I'd say it was like algorithmically that's the case, like that obviously because you like this and so you're interested in the making of it, and so like you're gonna click the things.
I follow those guys for a while that made the movie. Like that's a bad idea. I follow that page as well.
I see. Right.
So I'm sure that was shown to me as well. And then like I saw one thing and then it's like, oh, you like this?
Yeah.
Keep on watching it.
Attention economy, they got to keep you, but it was increasing. Like that's what's crazy, and the fact that their budgets are so low is so crazy. I think there's a lot of talk in Hollywood now about like should these studios be looking at this in a deeper way, because these are two movies back to back. They're completely broken outside of the mold of the Hollywood system in some way. Less so for Backrooms, of course, but definitely more so for Obsession. But still, for both of them, it's pretty impressive. Even like Mark, is it Mark? Sorry, Duplass from
Mark Duplass. He was there.
It's Mark. Yeah, he was talking about. Oh, by the way, it's Lukita Maxwell from Shrinking. I don't want to say that girl from Shrinking. It's kind of rude, but yeah, Mark Duplass specifically had said he put a video out about how he's like, this is really impressive, and like hopefully Hollywood takes note, because we have to break the mold. Like we can't be doing just these constant like franchise films. It's not useful. But to be fair, is that really happening? A24 has been making movies like this forever. It's not quite the same, but it is cool that these guys broke out of like YouTube to try to make it's neat. It is really cool. It's impressive. I do want big budget movies though too. It's like I don't want them to learn too much about this. Like I do want to see the giant tentpole films as well, but it would be cool to get more stuff like this, I guess.
It's about variety, dude. Yeah, it's about variety, and like bring a bunch of stuff like that out. Again, I love my blockbuster movies. Like we're gonna watch Supergirl. I mean, we just watched Mandalorian Grogu. We're gonna watch Supergirl. We're gonna watch
Disclosure Day.
Oh, Disclosure Day looks really good. I'm excited about that.
That's very soon. That's some people are saying, and we'll see how it goes when the actual critics reviews pop out, but they're saying like this, like Steven Spielberg's best movie in like 20 years or something like that. Crazy. It's like very, very, very hyperbolic, but we'll see. But yeah, it is exciting. I like Spielberg and everything he's done, so including Ready Player One. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting time.
Glad that you like that movie. I'm glad that you like that movie. That's definitely not a good movie. But yeah,
but the thing, I don't like the Mark Duplass thing in a way, because again, it almost lacks nuance too, in that like there are lots of movie types though that we are getting. That is the one thing I'm like, what are we really going to get more if Hollywood takes note of this? If they can lower the budget to less than $1 million, like I don't know,
dude. Hollywood's going to get the wrong idea from this as well. Like I feel like they always get the wrong idea, right? Yeah. Like
capitalism.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, so if we just pick random people from YouTube, that they're going to be able to make some great movies.
Yeah, it's like good.
And you're going to have some people that are probably going to nail it. But again, like you think about superhero movies and how, again, like everyone was like, oh, we got to do these big franchises. They try to do the Dark Universe or whatever the fuck that was called, and they like had the entire cast.
The Mummy thing.
Yeah, the Mummy thing. Like,
and also like the Spider-Man villain movies.
Exactly.
That's a great example. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't do those at all. Spend the money on these smaller projects and like cultivate these like fledgling voices in a deeper way and let them do their thing. Yeah, I agree. Invest in different types of options, nuanced options. But also, I do agree that I think they're going to take the wrong note from this. And they're just going to be like, wait, we can do this for $1 million?
Yeah.
and then it won't work because that's just the nature of it. Yeah. That's why I'm afraid of that too. But yeah, there's not a lot of checks and balances on capitalism lately. So it's a tough world out there. But yeah, hopefully they take the right lessons and we get good things.
Yeah.
One can dream. All right. Should we move on?
Sure.
All right. Now on to a segment of our show that I like to call A Look to the Future. Portion of our podcast where each of us present at least 3 of our picks for the TV series or movies that look most interesting to us that are releasing between the dates of June 2nd and June 15th, 2026. Adrian, as is customary, you go first. What is your first pick?
Yeah. So one of my first picks, this one I'm actually very excited for.
Yeah.
It's coming out on June 12th.
Yeah.
We did not just talk about it.
Okay.
Because I'm going to let you say that one.
Okay.
It's a movie called The Furious. Have you heard of this one, Simon?
I don't know.
So it's an East Asian action movie. The reason I say it's East Asian is because like it's again like the director's Jap. Jesus, I didn't mean it like that. Like he's a Japanese man. There's like a lot of people on the cast that are Indonesian, Chinese, all of that stuff, and it's this over the top, crazy hyper action. Like hyper violent action movie that's coming out that seems very similar to The Raid. Right now, there's a good chunk of reviews because it premiered at film festivals. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes currently.
Right.
It looks nuts. And again, this is coming out on June 12th. I'm very excited for it. It's
limited?
about this guy. I mean, it showed on Cineplex's app, so maybe limited. But again, looking online, it shows June 12th. And it's about a guy whose daughter gets kidnapped by like essentially like this mob, and corrupt cops aren't doing anything, so he brings matters into his own hands and is going to get his daughter. But it is like it seems very video gamey, where again it's like The Raid, like you have the building and he's like, I'm going into this building and I'm going to work my way up the levels to like get my daughter back. So
do they build up the villains? That was the big thing with The Raid. I feel like they built up the specific, like the small bosses, like the under bosses before you get to the big boss.
Yeah. I don't know. The trailer just shows a bunch of action and bloody gore, but it looks good. It looks very good, and I'm very intrigued about this one.
Sweet, that's cool. I will just pick the one I just said because I blew it. I said it first already. Disclosure Day comes out June 12th. Steven Spielberg's next Alien movie. It looks really cool. And Emily Blunt's performance is being like lauded. Like people are thinking that she's absolutely hit it out of the park. Mm-hmm. So, and Spielberg's hit it out of the park. So yeah, Josh O'Connor's in it as well.
I like Josh O'Connor.
He's everywhere lately. I think this is going to be a big one. I really want to see this like within the week of it coming out, if it's possible. We'll see. I don't know when I'm going on that Canada trip. So it's a mystery, but it would be nice. That one I think is a priority for me for theaters. Hopefully you too. We should almost make like a priority list so we know we're on the same page of what we want to go see. Like Backrooms wasn't really on a priority list for me, especially because we hadn't gotten reviews yet. You had reached out to me about going to see it, and I did. I wasn't like. I'm like, this trailer was freaking awesome. That's what I thought. But the next segment of our show called The Trailer is kind of a joke segment in that we're picking the best trailers, but it may not be a good movie. So I wasn't sure that it would be good because it's a big movie and it's also a lot of pressure for Kane Parsons to have pulled it off again, because he pulled it off on the YouTube, but YouTube is very different. So that's why I wasn't sure. But then it's an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, is killing it. So yeah, I'm interested in it, but that wasn't on my list. Disclosure Day though is like a top of it for sure, I think, for what's coming out in the next little bit. It looks really good. Yeah, that's my pick. What's yours?
Nice. My next pick is a June 5th movie. It's Scary Movie, the next Scary Movie. 6? 5?
They don't have a number, right? It's just Scary Movie though. Regina Hall's in it.
Yeah, I think it's technically Scary Movie 6, but it is just Scary Movie.
Yeah.
They're bringing back a lot of the main cast. I mean, pretty much all the main cast. You got Anna Faris, Shawn Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Regina Hall, Dave Sheridan. Like they're bringing back a lot of the main cast, which is really cool.
Do you like Scary Movie, like the franchise? Do you like those?
I liked the first two. Those are the only ones I watched.
Okay.
Which I think are the only ones that the Marlon brothers did. And then they kind of went off on their own thing.
Oh, okay.
I maybe watched the other ones, but I don't really remember them. Because I think they added Charlie Sheen after those ones.
You said Marlon brothers.
Sorry, the Wayans brothers. I said because Marlon
I'm like,
Wayans.
They both named Marlon?
No, sorry, it's the Wayans brothers. My apologies.
Right. Wayans.
Yeah, because I never watched Scary Movie 3. Wait, did I watch Scary Movie 3? I watched one of them. Like one of the later ones. I just can't remember which one because they had Charlie Sheen to the cast in the third one and Leslie Nielsen. Okay, I only watched the third one. Maybe I did watch 4 because I remember Dr. Phil being in 4. Did I watch the fifth one? The fifth one. I love the
tagline on posters that says "only in theaters." I just like it. I don't know why. It's kind of cool.
Movie 5 is a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that one. Okay, so 5 I definitely didn't watch. Then I must have watched 3 and 4 still.
Okay. So are you excited for this? You are?
No, not really. Okay. Like I'll watch it probably eventually, but I don't need to rush to the theaters to watch this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about comedies though, isn't it? It's kind of an issue.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's also just like watching the trailer and everything. It's just, I'm curious, is it going to actually be that funny? It just seems kind of like the way they've been talking about it is like, oh, you can't make comedy like this anymore. You know, it just seems very much like that. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about that, dude. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, stop saying that. You're making this movie. You can say it. You can do whatever the fuck you want and people will watch it or not. I hate that whole, like, you can't even be, like, again, I love Bill Burr as an example, but he always talks about, like, you can't make jokes the same way anymore or whatever. It's like, yeah, you fucking can because you're doing it on stage, man. You're literally doing it on stage and selling out like spaces. What the fuck are you talking about? It drives me insane. And that's kind of how they were talking about this one. And I'm just like, I don't know. Turned me off a little bit.
I'm just not interested in a Scary Movie at all. I've never loved the humor. So I was like, I'm okay to watch it. I don't hate it. It's fine. But I wouldn't go to a movie theater to see it personally. Yeah, I was more interested in seeing Naked Gun actually, but we just never got a chance. We just got kind of busy at that time last summer.
It's on Paramount Plus, your favorite streaming service.
Yeah, I know. And this is one streaming service I haven't really bought into at all. Largely because of that story of it breaking down on me, which I'm sure you're referencing right now. Okay, cool. My next pick is Masters of the Universe, Adrian. It launches June 5th, the same day as Scary Movie. If I was going to choose one of these movies, it would 100% be Masters of the Universe because this movie to me is kind of surprising. I feel like this is a McDonald's ball pit situation because this is a franchise largely built around action figures, okay? It's a crazy thing to even make a movie out of this in some way, but it's kind of an all-star studded cast, and they're not like drawing attention to it in a huge way. Like it not all-star, but there's some pretty big stars in it. Jared Leto, you can't even see. Idris Elba, you can't even, behind his like helmet and his mustache, he's barely visible. It's just a really interesting.
He was in that movie until the last trailer where I think we were sitting in theaters and I was like, that's fucking Idris Elba. What?
Yeah.
Like they're don't even market that. It. Yeah.
And then like, I know you love her, but she's not in that much, but Alison Brie, she's in a lot of like cool stuff, but she's not like, she's not, I was going to say, I don't know. Who was I going to say? Who cares? Who gives a shit? My point is, you like Alison Brie, and she's in it as a major villain. She's got an action figure now, apparently, that looks like her as an action figure character, which is kind of weird. It's like a dream within a dream. But yeah, anyway, it looks like it's a really fun time. I don't know if the reviews have come out yet, but I don't think they have.
Yeah, no, I don't think so yet.
So yeah, we'll wait. They'll be this week. We'll see them. And maybe it'll be bad. But I have a weird feeling. I'm just going to call it right now. I think it's going to be over a 90. I have a weird feeling. I do. I don't know why. On Rotten Tomatoes, again, this will not be the average score. It will just be ones or zeros, people liking the movie. I think it's going to blow away people's expectations. And as a result, it's going to be a higher score than it maybe would have been otherwise. But it looks like a fun time. That second trailer, I was like, am I going to like this? And my wife leaned in and said, is this something you're into? I'm like, I don't know. And then she's like, because if you're not going to watch it, I think this is a good puzzle movie. So she's going to watch it at home while doing her puzzle, which is such a funny thing to say. But I don't know if I really want to see this in theaters necessarily. But if it is over a 90, maybe it's a fun time. Like it's another kind of adventure, kind of just a fun movie situation that. But I don't know. You look like you're not that interested at all.
I'm not particularly interested in it. Again, if it is above a 90, maybe. But again, I'm gone this weekend, so.
Oh, good. Yeah, okay. That's fine then. Maybe that solves that problem. All right. Your pick is next, sir.
Yeah, so my pick, I think you're going to pick this one, so I'll leave this last one for you. I'll do a different one. It's a Netflix rom-com movie called Office Romance starring Brett Goldstein and Jennifer Lopez.
Right. Nice. Netflix.
It's called Office Romance.
Yeah. You excited for that?
Stoked.
The name I was trying to relate to Alison Brie was Julia Roberts earlier. By the way, I couldn't think of her name because I thought her name was Jennifer Roberts because of J-Lo. So anyway, I also had this on the list, Office Romance. I am not going to watch this. I don't even have Netflix right now. Right. There was that other thing, did you hear about this, it was just like the Naked Gun. There was a rumor that Brett Goldstein was dating J-Lo, and I think it was, again, just a made-up thing, because I don't think Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson were dating for Naked Gun. Do you hear about this?
I know about the, let's see, people.com. Jennifer Lopez's flirty energy with Brett Goldstein is genuine, but she's enjoying her life as it is. Exclusive source.
I think, but there's that marketing. I feel like it's like a marketing beat.
Yeah,
because I don't think the Liam Neeson thing was real. I'm not sure either way. I have no idea, but I feel like they're using these weird moments to kind of create viral marketing beats, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool.
My next pick here, Adrian, is a movie. Actually, is a TV show that I've mentioned a few times, Cape Fear. Yeah. It's a June 5th release. And it stars Javier Bardem and Amy Adams. And it looks very creepy. Did you end up watching this trailer? I can't remember.
Yes.
The second trailer. It's very creepy. Javier Bardem is killing it.
Yeah, it looks cool. Will I watch it? I don't think I'm going to have Apple TV, so I won't.
I'm more inclined to watch Widow's Bay, which I will probably
I really want to watch Widow's Bay. Yeah. I'm going to get Apple TV back in August when Ted Lasso Season 4 launches.
Right. Yeah. So you can catch up then.
I'll catch up. But I do want to watch Widow's Bay because everyone keeps talking about it. It's like, imagine Parks and Recreation, but it's a horror movie.
Are these people or people?
No, this is what I read online.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anyone that's watching this show. I don't know anyone except for you that watches Apple TV Plus stuff.
I got to keep people watching it. Yeah. And you can remove the plus, Adrian.
My goodness. Rookie mistake. They got rid of that. Apple TV minus.
I probably did that earlier, actually. I'm like calling you out.
Apple TV minus. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Minus and a plus. Cancel themselves out. Cancels each other out. Actually, wait. It would just be a minus then.
Not if it's the same value. Then it's a 0. It's just a 0.
Okay. If you say so. All right. I want to just throw this one in there just because it is coming out. It's a limited release. It's Carolina Caroline, which I talked about the trailer.
Yeah, I watched that trailer. It was good.
Yeah. And so it's Samara Weaving, like a crime romance thing. It looks pretty cool, but it's limited release. I started to say limited release because I realized there was a movie that was coming out this week that was a wide release, and I'm getting confused whether I said it because it's a 2-week gap between each of our episodes, so I get confused and you've called me out on that. You're like, you said that last time, or I've said that to you, or vice versa, but mostly you to me. And so, anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my list.
Cool.
It is now time to wrap up our show with a segment, the final segment of our show, where we each present our favorite trailer of the week. The segment called The Trailer, Adrian. The caboose of our episode.
Caboose.
So you got to pick one trailer that you were particularly fond of from this last 2 weeks.
Yes. So this is a good trailer, Simon. This is a really good trailer. I don't know if you watched this really good trailer that I'm about to bring up, but it's my favorite trailer of this past 2 weeks. It's a great trailer.
The Furious?
No.
Oh.
It is a A24 movie, since we've been talking about A24.
Yeah.
Called Prime Time. Have you seen this trailer yet, Simon?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
It is the crazy. So it's a Robert Pattinson starring movie about Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator.
Right.
And I think it's about the specific episode where he gets this guy who ends up killing himself.
Oh, wow.
After he gets caught, and like the big drama surrounding like NBC Universal being sued for it and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's focusing in on. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. There might be like multiple like stuff, but all I got to say, dude, is Robert Pattinson's so good at what he does. He always just like I don't know what his voice sounds like in real life, because he just does a different voice in every fucking movie he's in. And he's so good. I know I've seen him in interviews and stuff, but again, it's like, is that actually a real voice, or are you doing a bit? Because you're so good at just changing your voice.
What he does in Harry Potter. That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe. Unless he doesn't. But I think this I think this looks awesome. I'm very excited about this one. It's crazy. I feel like this one just kind of dropped out of nowhere. I didn't hear any news about this being filmed or any buzz about it, and then this trailer drops and I'm like, Primetime. Interesting. And I start watching it, and it just the reveal of it being like a Robert Pattinson's voice being Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
I was like,
did you ever watch that show?
Yes.
It's such a weird concept that's a TV show. I don't know. I almost don't believe it. It's kind of To Catch a Predator.
It's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's like
crazy
just
stuff.
Catching pedophiles. You're doing like some of the worst stuff on imaginable. Trying to diddle kids.
It's just a weird thing to be on primetime TV. That's the thing. Well, I guess it's later in the evening though, right?
Yeah.
It's not actually on primetime. It's called primetime, so it must be on prime.
Yeah.
Oh no, primetime is like evening. So like what primetime's like 5 p.m. to 10.
I don't know.
Something like that.
But there's cops.
Yeah, it does look good. That trailer
America's
in particular was
Most
shot particularly well though, in the spirit of the segment of a show. Like that is the cool thing is the way it's shot. It is neat the way it's put together and edited. My pick, Adrian, is my notes have like 2 spots where there's trailers. Now I got to pick out of 6. I just realized that I got 6 options here. I'm still going to pick the one I was going to pick anyway. This is a South Korean horror movie trailer, Adrian. I don't know if you saw this. I think this was at Cannes, the movie, but it's from a director named Ha Hung Jin, and it's a trailer for a movie called Hope.
Oh, I watched this trailer as well.
It's a badass trailer. Now, again, the movie may not be good. I don't know, but the trailer is excellent, and that is the point of the segment, and that is my trailer of the bye week for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like this, essentially like a monster movie from the sounds of it. Like I don't know if it's like an alien or something like that.
It's a weird creature though. When they show the creature,
it looks like
the creature like
spindly, like a dinosaur
tree guy.
With like a dinosaur mouth, like open, like a T-Rex mouth. I don't know if you noticed. So again, the trailer, it's Korean actors and stuff like that. Again, Korean director.
Right.
The end of this trailer. Did you see the names attached to this movie?
The name. Actors? I don't know if I saw the name. The names are in the trailer?
Yeah.
I didn't look.
But these actors are not in the movie.
Oh.
But in the trailer itself. Right, but their names are Michael Fassbender. Oh my God. Michael Fassbender's name dropped.
Really?
Alicia Vikander's name dropped.
Is Taylor in Russell. It or the producers?
No, they're listing the actors.
Oh.
And again, Michael Fassbender.
Why wouldn't you put them in the trailer?
I have no idea.
That's even better. That makes this trailer even better in my mind.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's just the way it's shot. There's like an element of there's this like weird baby in a shed. Did you see this like weird like monster baby? And then there's this like when you're saying you're talking about the monster is like opening its mouth and whatever. There is a moment though where there's like in their woods and there's a quick shot of it standing there and like this is spindly like forest creature. That's a freaking creepy That's why I like it kind of got me. It's like those moments, but like there's a lot of cool action in it too.
It's up my alley.
Good. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I've just honorable mentions. You want to throw any out? Just like list them as you go, or are you?
Yeah, I got a couple honorable mentions real quick. House of the Dragon season 3 trailer looks tight. Looks really good.
You know what's crazy about that? What? So I watched that trailer just today, and I was like, "Huh, I don't remember what happened. It's been too long. Like I actually don't remember all the details, which sucks because there's been so many shows."
Yeah, well, that's the issue, right? It's like you don't remember what's happened because technically nothing happened in season 2, so you got to remember all of what happened in season 1.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Pretty much.
There's also that, but that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was. It's crazy. It was a long while ago. Yeah. But looks like a banging trailer. I'm very excited.
That's a great trailer. Yeah, that was my second pick here. I think because the trailer is really good.
Mm-hmm. And then my final one is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. This is by... I
didn't see the trailer, though, for that. I just saw it.
Yeah, they released the trailer 4 days ago. I have it up here. This one looks really weird. I don't know how I feel about it. The reviews are very positive, though. And it's by the person that did... I saw the TV Glow, which I did not watch.
Okay.
Is it Jane Schauenberg's? Schauenbrunns? But yeah, this looks interesting. The trailer, again, looks very weird. Very weird. But again, it's 48 reviews, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
Okay.
Some good buzz, but that's it.
That's it? I got a few. I mentioned the Master of the Universe trailer. And my note here was, wait, is this going to be kind of good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't know. The other thing that was within this 2 weeks, I'm fairly certain because it's here. So I just try to take notes as the weeks go on because there's 2 weeks. So it seems like it might have been weeks before, but it isn't. The Lanterns trailer 2.
Did we not talk about that last episode?
No, it couldn't have been because I have it written here.
I swear we did talk about that last episode.
I don't think so. With Laura Linney? No, we didn't talk about Laura Linney. Laura Linney's in it. We didn't know that. We talked about Lanterns last episode because we talked about the Chris Mundy interview.
Yeah,
but Laura Linney is randomly in it, and we didn't talk. We would have talked about that for sure. Laura Linney of many different things, but she was most recently in Ozark. Yeah,
she's so good. Ozark. She's in Truman Show.
Right,
a remarkable movie.
Yeah, very good. Anyway. This trailer is good, and they used a lot of green. We talked about it too because you sent it to me and said they didn't waste any time putting green in because we had just talked about it on the podcast because we talked about the green thing. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't talk about it, but it was a very good trailer. It was good. But the last thing I've written here, I don't know how I feel about this trailer. I watched it twice. I was like, I don't know if this is that good, but it's the Nicholas Winding Refn movie, Her Private Hell. I don't know if you saw this.
I don't think I watched that yet.
The trailer, yeah. I don't know. This one's interesting. This movie was at Cannes. The lighting is really good, like a very neon-esque lighting.
Yeah, Her Private Hell. Okay.
It kind of looks like that movie by Edgar Wright, a little bit.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget the name.
Stars
Soho.
Companion.
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, this looks like companion actor. Sorry, this one stars companion actor. What's her name?
Sophie Thatcher.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's my list. Nice. But yeah, my choice definitely Hope.
Yeah, it's interesting. Nicholas Winding Refn, like I feel like he got popular because of Drive, and then I feel like everything after that, I don't think it really like hit the spot. Like I don't think they were reviewed particularly well or got a lot of focus.
Before Drive, he has good films that are critically reviewed well, I think, as well. Drive is one of my favorite movies, though. It's like top 5 movie for me.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, and I know him from Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
He's a prominent role, like legitimately, at least his likeness, not his voice, but he's in it in like a deep way, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2. But yeah, okay. Well, that's it.
Cool.
Anything else, Adrian, before we wrap this show up? That was it.
Let's wrap it up, man. Let's wrap it up.
Episode 137. Pretty good number, honestly.
137.
All right, well, I guess that's it then. Thank you for listening, audience. to episode 137 of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. My name is Simon Eady, and it has been a pleasure to host you alongside... Oh, I don't have an adjective. Damn it.
Texas barbecue.
My Texas barbecue... My Texas barbecue.
I'm just bringing back the Texas-based spinoff from Grey's Anatomy. It's like
my Texas barbecue co-host, Adrian Pinter. Please join us on June 16th for episode 138. Good evening to you and good luck.
Take care.
Goodbye.